Good morning, vinyl community. It's Sunday morning. Glenn here, your low-end music freak. Here to discuss some of my favorite CD box sets. The endless debate about CD versus vinyl, which one's better. I think the one check mark that goes in the CD side is the ability to produce extensive materials into a box set. Vinyl can do it to a certain point, but I mean, CD has endless boundaries in terms of the number of discs and the amount of material that they can provide in a set, and I just want to show you some of my favorite ones. Excuse me, it's Sunday morning, still a little hoarse. First up, Los Lobos. I'll try and pronounce the name of this box set. It's El Conchero Mas y Mas. I'm not sure what that means. I don't speak Spanish. This is a 4-disc career retrospective. It was released in I think 2002 or 2003, so obviously the later albums are not included, but there's still a wealth of great material on here. Los Lobos is such an eclectic band, and no matter what style of music they play, they just play it so well. This album has a lot of their traditional Mexican stuff on here, but also delves into the rock and roll stuff, like La Bamba was a big hit for them, and then a lot of the roots, blues, rock, whatever they played well. Great set. I have a bit of a Los Lobos story. In the 90s, I was working for the Mariposa Folk Festival in performer services, and basically my duties were to make sure performers got from the airport to the hotel, and the hotel to their rooms, to their venues, what have you. And once you've spent a couple hours with a band in a car, you kind of develop a little bit of a rapport with them, and they get somewhat comfortable. So after the performances of the day, we would always have a party in the hospitality suite. And I was down there standing with the Los Lobos guys, and also at the event that year, there was an act called the Sun Records Session guys. Included DJ Fontana, who was Elvis's drummer, a couple other guys, I can't remember their names, and the guitar player's name was Paul Burleson. They called him the Master of the Telecaster. And I guess in the 50s he had some kind of a hit, I don't know if it was national hit or regional, guitar instrumental. And when he walked by, the Los Lobos guys grabbed him, introduced themselves, and started talking. You could tell they were like giddy kids meeting a hero, and talked to him all about his song and playing. And he pulled out a guitar and showed them how to play his song, and you could just see the kind of hero worship that they had for this guy. It was pretty amazing to witness that. Anyway, Los Lobos, great box set if you can find it. I think it's out of print. Next, my favorite Moody Blues album, In Search of the Lost Chord. This is a very psychedelic, trippy kind of album. The hit off it was Ride My Seesaw. Other stuff, but there's some sitar in this, and the songs. There's a song about Timothy Leary's dead, and great set. This is the 50th anniversary box, 5 CDs. It came with a wonderful book, as you can see here. Lots of great pictures, story of what was going on with the band at the time of the album. The CDs, there's 5 of them. There's a mono mix, a stereo mix, also a surround mix for anybody into 5.1, which I'm not, and then a bunch of outtakes and stuff. But fantastic set. It sounds great. Next on the list, one of my favorite guitar players, I think one of the greatest guitar players of all time, Michael Bloomfield. Michael Bloomfield, this is called From His Head to His Heart to His Hands. This set was released a few years ago. 4 discs, 3 discs of CDs of a lot of his session work and all the bands he played in, from the Super Session band with Al Cooper and Paul Butterfield, Electric Flag, all those. This also comes with a Blu-ray, or not a Blu-ray disc, but a DVD. It's a documentary on Michael's life. Really interesting. It's too bad he left us so soon, so tragically. but just an amazing guitar player. It also comes with a book. See lots of pictures. There's him playing with the electric flag, I think. Maybe that might be Paul Butterfield. But anyway, terrific set. Next up, one of my favorite bands, and I think one of the top 10 albums of all time. Now I'm on Moody Blues in Search of the Last Chord. In the Court of the Crimson King. This is the 50th anniversary set. 4 CDs. Again, has a surround sound mix. Also reissued album, remixed. A lot of outtakes, a lot of different versions of the songs. In particular, the one that really stands out for me is on disc 2. It's a cappella version of Epitaph with just an isolated Greg Lake vocal, and it sounds incredible. This is a terrific box set. There's the album, one of the classic album covers of all time. Highly recommend. Next, Love Is the Song We Sing, the San Francisco Nuggets, 1965 to 1970. This is put out by Rhino, hardcover book with all kinds of pictures of the bands of the era, whether they be the popular bands like the Grateful Dead and the Airplane. There's also a lot of bands, a New Breed, and all kinds of bands. Even the Bull Brommels are in here, Count 5. Great stuff. There's a great picture of Janice. 4 discs at the back. This is broken up into 4 sections. Seismic Rumbles, which is kind of early days, and then Suburbia, which has a few of the hits on it, like Psychotic Reaction by the Count 5. And then Summer of Love, which has the Charlatans and Country Joe and the Bull Brommels and Moby Grape. The next disc is more of the popular stuff like Santana Evil Ways and Janice singing some of her songs, The Airplane. Youngblood's doing Come On Get Together, We Gotta Love Everybody Right Now, or whatever, however it goes. Anyway, terrific set. Mr. Zappa, Frank Zappa. This is the Roxy Performances box. Came out about a year or so. It is excellent set. It's from Frank's performances at the Roxy in I think 73. There's 4 performances over 6 discs, and then a 7th disc of rehearsals. I am not a big fan of the Frank Zappa kind of porny, silly stuff like Dynamo Hum and Titties and Beer and that. It's cool when you're 13, but that's not my thing right now, that's for sure. So I really am a big fan of Frank as a musician. This album completely showcases the talent. This was probably the best band he ever put together as far as I'm concerned. There's the discs, 7 disc set. Comes with a little book. Great picture of Frank. Both sides. Tells the story of the albums and that. It's a terrific set if you want to just hear the magic of Frank's musicianship. This is a super disc set. Okay. The Grateful Dead. Who puts out box sets better than the Grateful Dead? I mean, they just they put out whole tours. It's amazing. I think I don't know how many the 72 tour box, which is long out of print and worth a ton of money. I don't know how many CDs it had, like 80 CDs or something. It came in a big trunk. It's pretty incredible. This is the Pacific Northwest set. This is from their tours of the Pacific Northwest in 1973 and 74. Beautifully designed box. Comes with a great book. The Dead's just do amazing sets. They're expensive, but well worth it. A lot of these recordings were from when the Dead had their Wall of Sound. So if you don't know what the Grateful Dead's Wall of Sound is, do yourself a favor and look it up. It's pretty incredible. Um, this is a limited edition set. There's a place to stash your pot, I guess, if you're into that kind of thing. Limited edition. This is 7,125 of 15,000 sets. Now the set includes 15 CDs. There are actually six different CD cases with the 3 or 4 discs in each one. Good. Beautiful set. There's the rest of the box. It's absolutely really sturdy and gorgeous. Great job they did on this one. Okay, another Zappa set. This just came out recently, last fall. My favorite Frank Zappa album, Hot Rats. This is the Hot Rats session. It's 6 CDs of every second of the recording process of Hot Rats. It's amazing. It sounds incredible. It's really in depth, like the first CDs, you know, all the piano parts, and then they'll do the guitar parts and whatever other instruments were in. But you see how the whole album came together. It's amazing. I love this set. Oh, sorry. Comes with a great book. Lots of great pictures and great stories. Here's the hardcover where all the discs come in. Just an incredible set, the way they put this together. Also, comes with a game. I haven't played the game yet, so I'm not even sure what the rules are, but there's all the tiles and everything for the game, and here's the Frank Zappa game. So I guess when everybody's in quarantine, order this set, and you'll have a game to play to pass the time. Last but not least, Woodstock. The 50th anniversary of Woodstock. Now, Rhino put out a massive box set. I don't know how many CDs were in it, 20 or 23 or something like that, of every second of the festival, including every stage announcement, every performance. I don't know if I could sit through 1,000 stage announcements and rainstorms and whatever. So that set sold out pretty quickly at about $800 a pop, I think. Anyway, the next size down was this 10 CD set, which is just perfect. It does have a few of the stage announcements, which are cool. But there's at least 3 or 4 songs from every performer at Woodstock. So a lot of stuff, if you're just familiar with the movie and the soundtrack album that came out, as I was, there's a lot of performers I never got to hear. Now I have heard them. Band called Quill. Some of the acoustic stuff like Tim Hardin is fantastic. Blood, Sweat and Tears. Johnny Winter, Mountain, the Grateful Dead set. Lots of great shots in this book. There's Canned Heat. Now the discs are all mounted in the back of the book. There's 4, the last 4. That makes 8. Then the first 2 discs. This is a fantastic set. It's rather inexpensive for what you get. If you're a Woodstock fan, this is a must-have. This disc set also came wrapped in a burlap band. A friend of mine jokingly said this was Woodstock toilet paper. So I will leave you with that thought, and see you next time.